Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So, a few days ago, Texas Tech football released their schedule for this upcoming year. And so, there's been a lot of talk about it, especially in the Tech and Lubbock community, kind of about, maybe where we'll shake out this year, especially after a really, really exciting first year under Coach McGuire. And so today I'm going to react to the schedule, kind of who we play, what I feel about the schedule, and then have some way too early predictions about how we'll fare in this upcoming year. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. And leave your thoughts down below on how you think Texas Tech will do this year and kind of what are your expectations or hopes for the year. So first, before I get into like a game by game prediction, I'm going to talk about just generally on the schedule. So this year is the first year under the kind of new expanded Big 12 uh, with the additions of Houston, UCF, Cincinnati, and BYU. So we're playing 3 out of the 4 of them. We're not playing Cincinnati. And then old Big 12 teams, we're not playing OU, Iowa State, or Oklahoma State. But we're playing the other, I believe, 7. Yeah, 7 Big 12 teams, or 6 rather. And so I think that's interesting. I'm not exactly sure, how they decided um like who like wouldn't play who or whatever, but I think it's sad because like we just beat UT and OU for the first time in school history in the same year this past season, and we may never get to play OU again because they're probably going to leave for the SEC as early as 2024, and so that is sad to miss out on. um and the OSU game's always fun. And Iowa State, is always a really close game. It's usually a slugfest, but it's always close. Um, and then Cincinnati, I think out of all of the football, the new programs that we got, I think Loki, honestly, that's probably the team I'm least excited to play. If Luke Fickle was still their coach, I would say, oh yeah, that's gonna be a really good game. They've got a really good program, but I think this year they're gonna go under kind of a little bit of a rebuild, and so I think going forward there'll be great games. But I'm glad we kind of missed them this year on their rebuilding year as far as just pure entertainment value. As far as non-conference, of course there's like the Tarleton game. That's like kind of the booster game. The game that makes the boosters all really happy and stuff. I think at Wyoming, while they're not a good team, I think will be a good first road test. Um, Tech was not great on the road last year, and so I think starting the year on the road will be a good first test to kind of start the year and get some road experience under our belt. Whenever we'll be favored to win, a team we should handle going away, but it will be nice to get some road experience. I think the game to circle on the entire calendar is versus Oregon. I'm so excited that we're starting a home and home series with them. One of my goals has always been to go to a game at Autzen Stadium, at Eugene, Oregon. And so I think that's going to be probably the biggest test so far in Coach McGuire's young coaching career. Because last year there wasn't really a lot of expectations. So like the UT game wasn't like really a test. As far as like oh, like is Coach McGuire, like is this gonna make or break him? No, like, but I think like if McGuire really wants to put Tech on the map, like really truly like on a national scale, even more, beating an Oregon team that projects to be extremely good, um, will be a really, really nice staple. So now we're gonna get into just some kind of game by game predictions. So we're gonna start at Wyoming. Um, and so, like I said, Wyoming's not a great football program, even though it is on the road. I think Coach McGuire and the boys are going to use this as an opportunity to really kind of practice, what it takes to go win on the road, and the routine and all that, what it takes, and they'll take the win to open the year at Wyoming. Next, versus Oregon, I think we're a very good football team. I think we're gonna be a great team, legitimately. I think, all of us being ranked in the preseason and all that is warranted, even though maybe not quite as high as I've seen of some polls. Um, our defense, we are losing Tyree Wilson, but we're not losing very many people at all. Like, I think we've only got 3 people going to the draft. Yes, losing Tyree Wilson is a big loss, but it's a Roderick Thompson. But honestly, like a lot of our defensive line is coming back, and our linebackers and our secondary, and our defense was very good. Even if I don't think the statistics truly reflect how good our defense was last year. Um, our interior linemen were a duo. We're one of the few duos in the nation to, get like X amount of pressures and X amount of sacks and X amount of tackles for loss. And so I think the defense is going to be really good. And I think as long as Tyler Shuck stays healthy, Tyler Shuck's 8-1 as a Texas Tech starting quarterback. Um, probably like less gifted than Baron Morton, but he understands how to run the offense. He's very good in an air raid that we run. I hope to see this year we run the ball a little bit more because I feel like last year we got a little too cute throwing the ball as much as we did. But I think we project to be a very, very, very good team, legitimately. But Oregon projects to be a little better, and I think still early while this team is getting their bearings, we are going to incur an L at the Jones, which is really sad. But, if we lose to Oregon, who could potentially win the Pac-12 and push for a playoff spot, I think that'd be a solid loss to have on the resume. Next, versus Tarleton State, easy win. I don't have any doubts that we'll just go ahead and win this game. At West Virginia, another road test, but West Virginia is not very good. I think we'll just go ahead and beat them. Versus Houston, we'll have U of H here again. We beat them this past year in overtime, a great thrilling game. I don't think U of H will be quite as good, and I think we'll be better. We'll be at home, so I think we're going to go ahead and take the win as well. At Baylor, for game number 6 of the year, I think Baylor's going to be better this year than they were last year. I think this is kind of a pick'em game. If we were playing at Tech in Lubbock, I would say, probably win. But until we prove ourselves more on the road a little bit, I'm gonna have to give the edge to Coach McGuire's former team and give us our first loss in Big 12 play. I'm trying to be realist and not biased. Obviously, I love Texas Tech. I got my Tech hoodie, Tech jackets, Tech flag. But I'm trying to be real and give reasonable expectations while still being optimistic. Versus K-State, K-State's doing Deuce Vaughn and Adrian Martinez. We're playing them at home. We're going to be better. Give me the win. At BYU, after we get a few road tests underneath our belt, BYU lost a lot of talent this past year. A lot of talent, especially offensively. I think we're going to be able to dominate them from the defensive side of the ball, from our perspective. So I think we're going to go to Provo, play, in different times that we're not used to playing. We're going to go get a win. Okay, next versus TCU in the desert. They beat us last year, but they're losing a lot. Max Duggan, Quentin Johnson. I don't think they're going to be able to recapture quite all their magic. We're going to be at the Jones. Give me a W for versus TCU. At KU was a nice story last year, but we beat them pretty handedly this past season. I think I don't think Kansas is going to be as good. So we're going to go to Lawrence and get us a road win. And then here versus UCF. I think first time we're playing them in conference play. I think this can be a pretty good game. I think it's going to be a solid game. I don't know too much about UCF's outlook for the year, but us being at home, kind of on a little bit of win streak, having a good year, maybe trying to, stay in contention for the Big 12 title game. Give me a win versus UCF. And then at UT, for perhaps maybe the last time we played them, I think UT, even though they're losing Bijan Robinson, they're still going to have Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning. They've got a lot of talent. And I hate to do this because I absolutely despise that university, but I think at UT, or I think UT is also potentially trying to get into the Big 12 title game. I'm going to have to be honest, until I kind of see more road savviness from us, and they'll have plenty of opportunities to prove it. I'm going to have to say we're going to end our year on an L in the regular season. However, that brings us to final record prediction 9-3 and a possible Big 12 title berth. Two Big 12 losses got K State into the Big 12 title game. And so I think it's in the very realm of a possibility where we're playing for the Big 12 title. And who knows, once you get in there, K-State beat TCU. That's always a pretty wild game. It's always so close. The Big 12 title game is always so close. Who knows? We might go win it. And honestly, I really truly expect us to be playing in a BC in a New Year's Six bowl. I think if we're able to beat Oregon or UT, or I think we're able to beat both of them and maybe just have like one loss, I think we could be pushing for a playoff spot. I really do mean that. But I'm very confident we'll be in contention for the Big 12 title game and then potentially playing for a New Year's Six bowl, which I think would be so cool. That would be so good to have that in your second year under Coach McGuire. So thank you for watching today's video. I always appreciate the support. Check out the link content. Leave your thoughts down below. How do you think Tech will do this year? And you guys have a great day.